Yo, this is straight from the Beak. I'm Benjamin Beak, and this is a lyrical breakdown of my latest track, Hatched, Part 3.
Your world is your wardrobe like Mr. Toughness, giving up your life to fight for someone else's justice, others' moral compass.
I think a lot of people go through life kind of forgetting what their purpose initially was. Like when you're a kid, you're kind of asked the question of like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you have a relatively clear vision for yourself, even if it's unlikely or impossible. And the older you get, it seems like you ask people like what they're trying to do and they just have no answer for it. And they've been guided by the main missions of other people and become a kind of side character in their own life.
We're all part of the fungus. Love flows to the loveless, blood flows to the bloodless. Or at least that's how it was, it's not how it is.
I feel like as people get older, they kind of move into more of an isolated, reclusive way of life. Like if you look at your parents, they probably just don't have as many friends as you did as a kid. And even like being 28, like you kind of see that people grow apart a bit and that we all get focused in on what is our own path and lose sight of the communal power of like bringing people together. And the reason I brought up the fungus is because the fungus is pretty much like the nerve center of a forest and like connects pretty much like all the roots within like an ecosystem. So I'm kind of making the point that there's a power in coming together more so than in just being isolated and to lose connection, and that there's a balance between like losing your path to take on the path of another and also the power of coming together and having like a synergistic mentality.
Now we live like clams, trying the best that we can to make pearls out of sand, attached to a shell that we think can withstand all the creatures that lurk in the waters of dark, but the strength in coming together more than being apart.
I think that isolationism and like constant moving towards misunderstanding of one another in putting the self before the whole, I think it's a little bit of a destructive behavior. And I think that in a lot of this song, I'm trying to get across the feeling of getting into your own head and losing yourself in these thoughts of like isolationism and feelings of being alone and finding your own meaning. And I think that there's just a lot of things in this life that we just can't really achieve past on our own, and that if we collectivize and come together, that we have a way better chance of surviving the darkness of like the waters that surround us. Thanks for tuning into this third part of my lyrical breakdown of my track Hatched. Part 4, I'm gonna go over the whole rest of the song. I really appreciate you tuning in. Straight from the Beak, this is Benjamin Beak. Peace.
We long for the oneness, we feel too much, so we long for the numbness. Your world is your wardrobe like Mr. Toughness, giving up your life to fight for someone else's justice, others' moral compass. We're all part of the fungus. Love flows to the loveless, blood flows to the bloodless. Or at least that's how it was, it's not how it is. Now we live like clams, trying the best that we can to make pearls out of sand, attached to a shell that we think can withstand all the creatures that lurk in the waters of dark, but the strength in coming together more than being apart.